Welcome to Storytelling with Huey Bear. Remember to subscribe if you like this channel. Previously on Huey Bear Stories. You were shopping at a mall when all hell broke loose. Terrorists have announced they are here to kill. You had a choice to try and rescue your wife who was isolated from you, or save yourself. You raced to get to her after they attacked the shop you were in. The roof exploded from above, knocking you out. Time has passed. You wake to a torch in your face. Two strangers looked after you when you passed out, taking refuge behind broken debris. They found a way through, and now want to try and escape the mall. You have chosen to go with them, knowing that there is greater strength in numbers. But it means that your focus on your wife is at jeopardy, with the need to escape with your life. The story continues now. You see the body before the gun, but it's the gun that attracts your thoughts. You pick it up and check the ammunition. It's loaded with 8 bullets. You feel the weapon as it comes back to you. As you hold it in your hands, you have been handed a lifeline here. Will you take it? Stan is the one that convinces you to tag along. He is not fazed with what has happened around him, and you are impressed with his commanding posture. Your gut instinct tells you he is the man to get you out of here, and you can still look out for your wife on the way. You find out that the lady's name is Jenny, through mumbling conversations between the two strangers. Stan entered the gap in the debris first, followed by Jenny. As you watch them disappear into the darkness, you have a brief second of thought. Is it wise to stick with these people? I've only just met them, you wonder. Throughout your life, you have always believed that people are stronger together. That doesn't stop now. Fearful to be left alone in this nightmare, you gratefully follow the pair through the gap. You crawl through the hole, cautiously, careful to limit the noise you make whilst getting through the cramped hole. It is a chilling moment not knowing what is on the other side, especially because it was such a dangerous area to be in a few hours earlier. When you finally trudge through, you almost throw up to the smell. The air is full of the stench of death. It's your first time smelling broken corpses, and you are shocked by the fresh smell of it. It smells as though you are at a butcher's market. It is a place you have rarely visited, but a strong, stifling scent is still etched in your mind. So familiar to what your nose senses now. The limited sight is worse than the smell. You only get a glimpse of the horror around you. The image visible due to Stan's iPhone's torch lights, lighting up the dark. Bodies pile on top of each other, lifeless but with the expression of fear. You almost slip off your feet. It takes a few seconds to realise that it wasn't water that you slipped on, rather the slippery surface is caused by the blood of the dead around you. When the roof exploded, it must have destroyed most of the lights in the River Island store. Now, only one flickers on and off in the corner of the room. Jenny had to take a knee from the sight. She is the most distraught from the living hell. She whimpers into her hands, unable to hold back the tears. Stan comforts her. I promise you, I will get you through this, but we need to get as far from here as possible, and quickly, he whispers in her ear, whilst embracing her. He then gets to his feet and walks over to you. Jenny's not doing so good right now. We need to move from this position. I want you to quickly scout the score as quietly as you can, whilst I get her refocused. Do you reckon you can do that for me? You know, it's better not to argue right now. Emotions are high, and although you are annoyed that you have to take the risk and go ahead, you see it as a way to check the area you last saw your wife. Of course, I'll be back in a bit, you reply. As you crouch into the darkness of the store, it is shocking to see a place you are so familiar with look like this. The contrast is horrific. In the January sales, the hours of this River Island store usually explode with life as the crowd rush around the want of clothing. Now the store is lifeless. You crawl further up the shop until you find the position where you last saw your wife. Your heart beats twice as fast as you realise you might find her dead. Flashbacks of her stretching her arm towards you resurface in your mind. She was calling for you. You rush to the position. Your heart sinks as you see a brunette face down, lifeless. You speedily crouch to the body, still careful about the level of noise you make. You grab the body, rolling it over on its back. You never thought you would be relieved to see a lifeless corpse. The woman looks in her early 40s. She wears an expression of horror. You can only relate to the last thought she must have had. You are glad that the woman isn't your wife, but you hate yourself for how you feel as you see a dead human. That woman had a family just like me. You begin to cry, to the hell you realise you are in, sobbing uncontrollably to the sight around you. After 2 minutes, you compose yourself. You are ready to walk through hell, to continue this nightmare. As you bring your head up, you see another dead body in an area where the light flickers on and off. It's the clothing that you notice first. It's the clothing of the security guard. You rush over. You see the body before the gun. The man seemed to have forgotten the weapon that was attached to his clothing. It's the gun that attracts your thoughts. You pick it up and check the ammunition. It's loaded with 8 bullets. The feel of a weapon comes back to you as you hold it in your hands. You remember what it was like in Afghanistan. You undertook a tours, fighting for your country. You realise you have been handed a lifeline with this weapon. But Stan probably wouldn't agree to it. He wants it to be his way. You have a choice right now, to take the weapon and hide it from Stan, or leave it behind. For anyone listening, I really appreciate the watch time you give this. If you have not read the previous parts of this story, give them a try. It's an interactive adventure where you dictate the story. Please remember to give this channel a subscription so I continue to write more. Like and share this video and I will be so grateful. Remember to comment on what you think would happen in the future of the story, whether the choices you chose. Also, tell me what stories you want to hear, what settings you want in stories, what events you want to happen in stories, what stories you want me to focus on. Tell me and I will do it. All the best, Huey Bear.